welcome to our next webinar in the COVID-19 series, Going Digital, Efficiency, Mobility and Automation. I'm Kelly and together we have co-host Lisa joining us today.
Hello!
So right now it's more important than ever to ensure that we're moving with the times, and that includes figuring out how you can move to being more digital, which means more accessible, efficient and automated. So what does operating digitally mean? That digital businesses use technology to create new value in business models, customer experiences, and the internal capabilities that support the core operations and boosts productivity and profitability. So that's a lot of words. So operating digitally is not just about using technology. You need a value from using the technology. So for example, enhancing customer experiences, being more accessible to your customers, looking at reducing some of those manual tasks and therefore saving time and reducing the chance of manual mistakes. Operating digitally also means being able to operate anywhere and you can quickly adapt to change. It talks about automating tasks and gives you transparency in your business no matter where you are. Lisa.
So we covered this in our last webinar about business continuity, and this actually applies here as well. It's about making changes, it's about thinking differently, and changing your attitude to change as well, and technology. Because remember, every business has room for improvement and change. And if you're going to start moving towards being more digital, I would suggest you start talking to your staff now and warming them into that idea. And why? To change their attitude, unless of course you're lucky enough and already your staff love change and love technology. And also you've got to stop thinking about how we used to do something and instead how can we do it differently. What technologies are there out there that we can utilize to be better at what we do? And in fact, we have seen so many businesses adapt really quickly through lockdown and have reinvented their businesses and gone digital. I mean, we've seen it locally. I've seen actually a personal trainer who pre-lockdown was all about coming and training with them. And then they went online through lockdown. And they now can sell, I think they have like weekly subscriptions. You've probably seen it as well, Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I've seen it with a couple of PTs actually here in Marlborough. I mean, you can actually now subscribe and get weekly videos. So these PTs are now able to make income with actually being there with their customers as well. So before they couldn't operate pre-lockdown, and now if we go into another lockdown, they can continue to operate and generate income. How awesome is that? Now, life isn't fair, and we know that every business is different, and so you're probably sitting there going, well, we can't do that. So yes, some businesses can operate completely in the cloud, and other businesses can do maybe able to touch on that, but not be fully in the cloud and operate through a lockdown scenario. However, it does not mean that you shouldn't look at where you can make changes with digital, to make positive changes, that is. Now, we're not going to have all the answers today, and we won't be covering everything out there regarding digital and cloud-based, because there is a lot. However, what we will do instead is share our experiences, what we are doing, and also what we are seeing other businesses do as well.
Yeah.
So, can your clients contact you no matter where you are? When you went into lockdown, what happened? Did you scramble about, oh gosh, how are clients going to get hold of me, yourself and your staff? You know, if you have the right setup, nothing should have changed. Your clients should have been able to continue to get hold of you no matter what. And certainly for us, that happened. Now, have you heard of VoIP? So VoIP stands for Voice over IP. So what that is instead of using traditional phone lines, you use the internet for your phone calls. Now, it is recommended that you do have fibre for it to be reliable. However, I don't actually have fibre here at home, and I don't think Kelly does either.
No,
and
neither.
I have found personally myself our VoIP to be reliable, as I think, Kelly, you've had a couple little issues.
Yeah, but that's very few.
Yeah. Now, yeah, so there's some huge advantages with being VoIP. One, obviously, it means that your clients can get hold of you no matter what. For us, we have little apps on our phone as well, but we also have soft phones. Okay, so soft phones means you've actually got no hardware. So when you walk into our office, you actually see no phones throughout our office, which is kind of weird when we first went to soft phones. Instead, our phones are an app on our computers, and we have a headset that you're seeing myself and I think Kelly, yeah, you're wearing it as well. So instead you have a headset connected to your laptop or your desktop, and when your phone rings, up pops your app, which is really cool, and it actually has user ID, or if it brings up your clients if you've got your clients in there in your list. And it means that you can also run that from any computer. If you end up working at home, you're able to have a headset at home as well, and you'll be able to answer your phone no matter what, or on your mobile. So yeah, but you still can have your traditional phones as well. So your clients can ring you. So what are some of the advantages? So your clients can ring your DDI as normal no matter where you are. You can easily transfer to mobiles. And when calling reception, you can create hunt groups as well. For example, all our DDIs would ring. So when you ring our main number, which is 5777 128, it actually rings all of our staff. And it'll be the first person, that's what we call a hunt group. And it'll be the first person who actually picks up that phone. So you don't have to have actually a dedicated receptionist either. You can have group client phone number directories. So we're able to have one directory that we all share that has our client numbers in it as well, which is really handy. It's very easy to ring each other. So for me to ring Kelly, I just simply click on my little bit of software on my laptop and start typing in her name. She pops up and then I hit call. So it's no different than if you were ringing each other in the office, if your office was big enough. And you can transfer as well. So if I take a call, I'm still able to transfer to Kelly. So it has huge capabilities. It's cheaper, way cheaper than your traditional PABX. So that's what a lot of businesses probably still have, is the PABX, a big box on the wall, and using your phone lines. So for us, half the cost. When we went to VoIP, and not only that, it gave us greater capability than what we ever had with a PABX. And now, of course, we don't even have hardware phones, so we find it even better, don't we, Kelly?
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
And just on the headsets, you can pop in your little AirPods if you've got wireless, headphones as well, and that interacts with your phone app.
Yeah.
So really easy to be walking about. Yeah.
That's right. Cool. And that's VoIP, voice over IP.
Awesome. Thanks, Lisa. So how do you communicate with your staff? Talking about VoIP, there's also other means, email, face-to-face, or have you moved on to the new way of private messaging apps such as Slack or Microsoft Teams, or maybe a combination of both? We used to mainly use email to communicate internally, but we've decided to leave that for client communication now. And internally between our team, we initially started using Slack, but have now switched to Microsoft Teams. So where it showed to be really valuable was not only in reducing the email clog that you get every day with emails coming in, but when we had the earthquakes, we were quickly able to communicate with staff with just one message. So it was far more efficient and a faster way to communicate with individual staff, groups, or all staff, and we highly recommend it. Much like VoIP, you can communicate individually or you can create groups. So you get that one message out really quickly. And now that we are working from home, even though we're not face-to-face, we're fully in contact all day, every day with each other. So we certainly love Teams. It's like VoIP, it's an app that goes on your computer, but you can also have it on your smartphone as well. So you're always accessible, basically. Yeah.
And I mean, we're still learning with Microsoft Teams, because Microsoft Teams, I really think, came around all of a sudden it popped up maybe 4 or 5 months ago. All of a sudden we had Teams installed and we did an update with Office 365. So we're still learning. And so a couple of the things that we've learned with Teams is you can utilize it like Zoom. So you don't even have to pay for a Zoom subscription. So you can video conference each other or the whole team, and you can do it externally as well. It doesn't have to be within your team. And I haven't utilised that function, but you have, haven't you, Kelly?
I have, and the other function we've found is that you can actually, when you're communicating with your team, attach files, especially if you're using SharePoint or OneDrive, then people can update that file and it gets updated back in the main place. So yeah, it's quite versatile.
And the other thing is statuses. So one thing we found with working remotely from one another is you just couldn't see what was going on with staff. Were they at lunch? Were they at a break? Were they, maybe they'd slightly changed their hours and we just weren't aware. So you can actually set statuses as well. And it's really easy to set that status. Hey, I'm at lunch, I'm back at 1, or I'm at a tea break, or I'm on training, I won't be available till 2 p.m. And then so when you go to Teams somebody, that message pops up and you can see straight away, hey, look, I can't obviously expect to get hold of that person for the next hour. And we've found that quite beneficial as well.
Very, yeah, helps that communication when you are working remotely or digitally. Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest things that Kelly said is removing that email clog.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so now we're moving on to, can you access your financials or data no matter where you are? Now, as a business owner, you really need to be in touch with how your business is performing no matter where you are. Okay, so for example, maybe you own a cafe and you work on the business from home 3 days a week. Don't you want to be able to see what your takings are for the day without having to actually go in there? Or maybe you run a team of electricians out there on the road. Don't you want real time of seeing the time on jobs, time coming through on jobs, when jobs are completed or not completed as it actually happens? So this is where you need to start thinking about, maybe you're on the old traditional non-cloud accounting where your systems are on the computers in the office and not accessible by the cloud. So this is what we talk about, moving to something like cloud accounting. So of course the biggest one out there is Xero. And now I know some people really struggled with going into lockdown because they were on computers. How are we going to do wages? How are we going to do our accounts while in lockdown? So this is the beauty of cloud accounting. So Xero is certainly our favourites, but there are, and I think one of the reasons why it's one of our favourites, there's heaps of apps that attach to Xero regarding POS, inventory, job management, and it's real time and you can access it anywhere. So talking about POS, so the next one is Cloud POS. So this is great for retail, hospitality, and even some of them can work offline. So I remember one person was, one of our clients was looking at POS. They were very concerned with what happens if the internet goes down, how are we still able to go and do sales? So a lot of those types of POS will work offline. So even though your internet goes down, it will still continue allowing you to do sales in that. It just won't upload back to the cloud until you go back online. So there's definitely lots of options out there around Cloud POS. So the next one is Cloud Inventory and Job Management. So great examples that link with Xero are Workflow Max, Sim7, SimPro, GeoOp, but to be honest, there's heaps out there. Now with job apps, your staff have apps, they can have apps on their phones as well for timesheets. So while they're out and about doing their work, they're able to open up the job on their mobile device and add that time to the jobs. Or, you know, I'll go back to the being an electrician example. Let's say they want to go to Radcliffe's and order some stock. They're able to create a purchase order whilst they're at Radcliffe's to that job and add in those parts. So everything is real time and reducing the admin work as well. In fact, we've had clients who have gone to job management programs and have halved their admin time because they're no longer doing it the old manual way as well. So then, of course, we move on to cloud payroll. So and hopefully your payroll is linked to your timesheets. And with cloud payroll, you know, you're able to do that. It depends though, like if you're using a job management separate to a payroll program, which is often the way. Hopefully there is a link between the two. If there is not a big deal. But yeah, so cloud payroll, obviously the advantages is in the cloud. Also, we use variety because we don't like to use one when it needs to be suitable to the client. So some of the examples of cloud payroll, we got your Xero payroll, but we really like to only use those for smaller businesses. And really FlexiTime is the other one, isn't it, Kelly?
Yeah, really good for hospitality or anyone who does kind of piece rates or works erratically.
Yeah. What is good about cloud payroll as well is that I imagine most of them, your staff will get their own app. So with Xero, it's called Xero Me, I believe. Yeah, and they're able to see all their pay slips. They're able to edit any of their information if their home address has changed. They're able to see their leave balances and apply for leave as well. So for our staff, and they apply for leave on the app, it comes through to me as an email, and then I click on it to approve or decline if I want to decline it. So again, it's making things more automated. It's making things more transparent for everybody. You know, if a staff member wants an old payslip, they don't have to come and ask you and you then manually create it. They can just log into their app and get that payslip. So lots of benefits all around, isn't there, Kelly?
There is, yes.
Cool. Okay, so then cloud storage. So traditionally, businesses, if you're small, very, very small, you might be on like a peer-to-peer network, which means your computers just all joined together and your data is saved on maybe one or many. Or slightly bigger businesses to large businesses, they tend to have expensive servers. You know, maybe a server is priced at 15,000 plus or 10,000 plus to replace it, and that's where your data resides. But have you thought about cloud? Now, I'm not necessarily saying that every business would be suitable to go 100% cloud, because it really depends on your data that you have, what type of data, and also the programs you use. Are they desktop based or are they cloud based? So for us, we have Office 365, which gives us SharePoint and OneDrive for business. So we have our data in SharePoint, and then so that's up in the cloud, and then it syncs to OneDrive, which then hosts it locally on our computers. We have transitioned about 60% of our data into SharePoint, and once we've transitioned the remaining 40%, which will hopefully happen within the next couple months, we're then able to actually get rid of our server and turn it off. And that means that we're no longer a slave to our server as well. So reducing our costs, but also meaning that we can work anywhere. Now, I mean, we can do that anyway, because with a server you can remote in. It's just not quite as easy though, is it, Kelly?
No.
You know, I mean, when it's directly on your computer and you're accessing it directly in the cloud, it's much easier. You know, imagine if our server goes down, we're not able to remote in. Or let's give an example of being in lockdown. Imagine if our server went down in lockdown. You know, maybe we could have got an IT company to go and have a look at it. I'm not sure whether we were classed as essential. We were servicing maybe one or two essential businesses with payroll and stuff like that. But yeah, what happens if we couldn't get someone there to go and fix our server? We would be without that 40% remaining data, which would have been really detrimental to us. So yeah, so that's an example of how you can go cloud storage. Now, when these systems are updated on the go, it means you can see everything in real time with greater transparency, which means you can be proactive opposed to being reactive when things aren't going well. So it's about having, again, that real-time data and transparency. So yeah, so there are some of your options around how you can access your financials and data no matter where you are. Anything to add, Kelly?
No, I think you've covered most of it.
Cool.
Cool. So how about a different or more efficient way of meeting and training people? So we've talked a lot about storage and using all the apps, but how do we interact with your clients? So, or it could just be giving your customers different options. So one of the ways that we can be different is by having virtual meetings. And obviously we're doing a little bit of this now with webinar. So we've been quite surprised how clients whom haven't normally chosen this option in the past have ended up really liking it. And in fact, a vast majority prefer to have it this way going forward. Uh, it's saving time on travelling, finding a car park, working around the children with school. So we already have clients booking Zoom meetings well into June and July, which is really positive. And we've continued to provide our services to clients as normal through Zoom or even Teams meetings that we were talking about before. And I've also provided one-on-one training through these apps where we do a Zoom meeting and we screen share so that people can look at our computer and we can do some training. I've done many zero setups and zero payroll trainings through using screen share, which has worked really well. In fact, not really that much different than if we were side by side, face to face. Yeah, so again, we've done a lot of screen sharing, lots of apps out there. Other ways is doing pre-recorded webinars like we're doing right now for our clients. They can watch it in a time that's convenient to them and not miss a training session because they couldn't make it into the office. So thinking about ways that your business can be working differently and efficient so that you're giving your customers options there. So that's virtual meetings, Teams, Skype and Zoom. We also put links on emails and websites so that clients can book meetings via apps such as Calendly. There are many apps out there. We used to use Timely, but now we use Calendly. It saves time for the clients and our time going back and forth. So basically, they go online, it links to your calendar, they make a booking, and it creates a meeting in your Outlook calendar as well. So really, it's kind of a complete no touch when it comes to making meetings. We also have a link on our website called Virtual Consults. So clients can go on there, click on the meeting, and it takes you through to the calendar, and they can choose a day and time that suits them. And also giving them the options of having a virtual meeting or a face-to-face meeting is really convenient. So it's really all about using our technology to make it easier for you and your customer, and also to save some time.
Absolutely. I love when I book anything, any kind of a meeting or appointment, I prefer to do it via a cloud-based booking system of some sort, because it means that because often I don't think of these things, certainly if it's a personal meeting, until nighttime, which is too late to pick up the phone and ring them. So it's so much easier for me to go to a link, have a look at what time's available, compare it to my calendar and book it, and I don't even have to take up the time of the provider. So for me, I will actually tend to go to suppliers or whatever it might be, because I can book online, which I know sounds a little bit crazy, but it's just convenient.
I think it is, and I think more like you said, a lot of us are at work all day, or they're out in the van traveling around from job to job, and having your calendar in front of you is just not convenient.
No.
So having that option to do that at night time, whether it's 3 in the morning or 8 at night, is very convenient.
Yes, for sure. Cool. So next thing is think about how you can automate. So look at those manual tasks in your business that takes time, or maybe knowledge with a particular person that's stuck in their head, and that maybe surely you can automate it. I guarantee there will be some kind of software out there to fix these manual issues. What I suggest you do is to sit down and write a list of, what are our manual pain points? What do we spend a lot of time manually doing that's really frustrating and time consuming, and it's more so around that kind of admin based stuff in particular. So one of them is phone auto attendance. So what I mean by that, and they've got to be set up right, because some of the ones that I've come across are really frustrating. So what it means, what it means is when you ring us, for example, you'll get, it's actually Kelly's lovely voice saying that you've reached Sass, and that these are the following options. I think like 01 for new inquiries, 02 for such and such, 03 for such and such, 04 for such and such. Now, most of our clients, regular clients, know our DDIs, so our clients can contact us directly on our DDIs, which are direct dial. What's
Yeah, I don't know what the I stands for.
Well, anyway, we'll call it direct dial. Yeah, so I mean, I know that I've rang some places and it'll, you go through and it'll say, select 1 for this, 2 for that. So you select 2, then it has another option. I'll select 1 for this, 2 for that, 3 for that. Then you select another option, and then it's 1 for this, 2 for that, and you just, so they're crazy. I don't necessarily agree with them.
No.
So it does have to be really simple. Okay, so yeah, so that's one way that you can automate. You don't need to have a receptionist sitting there answering the call. Actually, one of the reasons we went to it is I had a client that says, look, I only ever asked to speak to you, but I feel really terrible that such and such always answers and goes, hi, you reached Sass, such and such speaking. And then it's like, oh, can I speak to Lisa? And then they transfer through. So they made a real good point that there was a lot of wastage of time going on. Anyway, so the next one is your digital receptionist. So again, if you've come into our office, we have a digital receptionist because we don't actually have a need to have a receptionist job there. So we have a computer screen, and you just touch screen, you push on who you want, the picture of the person you want, and it'll send an email to us and let us know you're there. So there's those sort of digital receptionists as well. We were put in that position to really rethink how we were operating because we had some change in staff, and we realised that there was, because we'd automated a lot, we didn't have that kind of role for a receptionist junior job. So this is where we brought in that digital receptionist. So the next one is selling online and getting payments and details online. So, if you're selling something by phone, think about how can I go online. Obviously, a lot of businesses are already doing that, but think about yourself. It's not as hard as you think. There's payment gateways that you can use. There's lots of cheap free websites that you can use that can do it all securely as well. So the next one is automatic acceptance of quotes. So this is where you'll send out a quote and they'll have a big accept button where you'll actually get a signature as well, so they can draw the signature on screen. They might be able to sign terms of trade as well. So again, it means that you don't have to take a call from your customer saying, yeah, I'm happy to accept that. And then you saying, well, can you please send an email, or can you please print off and sign and give it to me, which is the old traditional way of doing that. So again, there's lots of systems out there that can do that for you. We use one that is designed for accountants in particular who do fixed fees. So it's great. Our clients just hit on accept, and it does all of the onboarding in regards to accepting the quote, signing the terms of engagement, and so forth. Automatically chasing up quotes. So that's, a really good one as well. If you've got a quoting system, it might fire them emails, a couple of days later or a week later, asking them, how are they going? Do they have any questions? So anything where you're able to set automation around chasing up is fantastic as well, including overdue debtors. So if you're using Xero has invoice reminders now, so I highly recommend turning that on. It is really basic, but it only needs to be basic. So it might automatically chase up the first 3 times, but of course, by that 3rd time, if they still haven't paid, you want to pick up the phone. There's lots of systems out there. We used to use Debtor Daddy, so it's a matter of figuring out what your needs are and matching your needs to which system. Or automatically booking meetings. Kelly's actually already covered that. So we use Calendly, but there's lots of options. So Timely in particular, I know hairdressers use that, or personal trainers, or people who do massaging. So they're really good. People can automatically book your services with you through those sorts of apps. Again, freeing up your time, so you're not having to pick up the phone and book those in. Automatically posting on social media, that's another really good one, because social media can take up a lot of time. So there's one program that's a free program called Buffer. So you can, it can do your automatic posting. You can link 3, if you want the free version, 3 social media platforms. And what you do is you do one post and it will automatically post across 3 platforms. Again, saving your time, not having to go into each 3 platforms and individually posting as well. So the next one is direct debits. There are programs out there that can do your direct debits automatically for you as well. So you don't have to remember to load them up on the 1st or the 7th or the 20th of each month. You set a schedule for that particular client with their bank account details, and it will automatically direct debit their account on that date. So again, saving time. And another good one is just automatically following up people that have visited your site or put something into your cart but not purchased. So there's lots of systems out there. Google Ads. Hold on. So you can link your Facebook to your one way is you can link your Facebook to your website, and then you can set up little sponsored ads that then go and target the people who have done certain actions on your website, or maybe just gone to certain pages. So that is one. There are programs out there that can also be connected to your website that can see people have maybe gone to your cart, added things to cart but not purchased, and then they can go and follow them up. So there's lots of systems out there. So again, it's thinking about what are those manual tasks that you're doing. So I know this is a lot of information, but what tasks that you are doing that are really manual, and all you have to do is pick one at a time, and you might just have a target of just say, one task a month or one task every couple of months. How can we make this better? How can we automate it? What technologies are out there? And if you don't have the time to do that, there are businesses set up that help businesses figure that out. So that, we're certainly one of them. So we can help a client look at what their needs are and what their pain points are, and then we're able to have a look at what systems are out there and match the system to their needs. So we're only one business out there that can do that. There's many out there. You may already be working with some companies that can provide these services as well. So yeah, so lots of ideas and options out there for you. Thanks, Kelly.
Very exciting, automation.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Cool. So the next bit is about optimize. So kind of a little bit what we've already talked about. Can you book meetings or appointments or see what you have on the next day from anywhere? Or are you reliant on being at work so that you can see it in your physical diary, or maybe it's somewhere in your office or in your handbag? So email on desktop and mobile. So some people might say, but I don't want my email on my phone. I want to get away from it. I don't want to sit there at night and see an email come through. So instead I say, well, how about thinking I want to be adaptable or flexible? I want to have the option to work from anywhere and not be a slave to my desk and computer. So maybe change your way of thinking. And if you don't want to deal with emails at night, then just turn off the notifications or just ignore the emails. You don't have to look at them. But especially if you're on a job where you might just want to prep for the next day, having that there is really, really good. Electronic calendars. So, kind of gone are the days of those, big books on your desk. So we're talking about maybe going electronic, and I bet you won't regret it. So ensure that you can access your electronic calendar from anywhere, and certainly on your mobile device. Stay organised and book a meeting from no matter where you are in the world. Could be Fiji, hopefully, in a few months. Sitting on a beach. And never miss a meeting, as your phone will send that big ping and remind you of the meeting that's coming up. You could go one step further and get a smartwatch, and then your watch will alert you before the meeting. So quite often we're so busy that it's really important to set your reminders and forget, so that our devices tell us what's coming up and what to do next. We use Office 365, which is a monthly subscription, and so we can access our email and calendar from anywhere, not just our desk. Outlook's on our office computer, but it can also be, on our phones, and you can log in from anywhere that has an internet connection. So this basically means that we're flexible, adaptable, and mobile. We certainly don't want to be tied to our desks only.
No, I certainly don't want to be tied to my desks.
No.
And The reminders are great, and that's the reality. Is we are so busy. We're so busy trying to juggle what we're doing at work, what we're doing at home, what we're doing for ourselves, and also our children, that we can't be expected to remember everything. So use the technology to remind you. And I know that. So I have a smartwatch as well. And my husband bought it for my birthday, so I was very lucky. But I tell you, the benefits where I have for them is you might get a message through, and it's just very quickly, it'll ping on your watch. You can just have a quick look, and then in there, oh, it's not important, I don't need to pick the phone up. Or shit, that's really important, I better pick my phone up. So you're not always having to pick and look at your phone. Another one, I had finished work, came home, and then I got tied up doing something. All of a sudden, my watch alerts 5 minutes time. I've changed that reminder, so it gives me more time now. 5 minutes time.
Bit longer.
5 minutes time. My son had a hairdresser's appointment, so holy, we were out that door pretty quick. But without that reminder, I just would have totally forgotten. So it definitely does help you stay more organised. And also, when I'm out and about, I can book meetings. I don't, if I've got my phone on me, I'm able to book meetings in and there, which is fantastic. They don't even have to, like hairdressing appointment, they don't even have to write out a card for me. I just put it straight on my phone, saving that wasted card, and it's right there to remind me when it, set and forget, like Kelly said.
And especially with that Office 365 in your calendar, you can color code, so you can have, red for personal appointments or yellow for work appointments. So it's just moving away from that book to a digital platform.
That's right. And we share our calendars so we can see what each other's doing.
Like
as
spin
well.
tonight.
Yes. And also Teams is linked with it. So Teams actually will change your status to busy if it sees that you've got a meeting or an appointment, which is really handy. So being all interconnected. Now, that one thing, I don't have the alerts of my email on my phone, so it doesn't disturb me at night. So I completely forget about my email at night, unless I choose to clear it. Because sometimes, come a Sunday night, I think, actually, I'm sitting here doing nothing, I might clear my emails, so I don't have to do it first thing Monday morning. But yeah, you don't have to have those notifications on at all if you don't want. Cool, thank you. Okay, so the next one is, are you procedure savvy? Are your procedures easy to find? Are they accessible from anywhere and easy for anyone to follow? Or maybe you don't even have procedures at all. So we like to run our business using hit by the bus theory. So this is where you have a procedure for everything. So tasks can easily be picked up by other people when they're away, or if they happen to get hit by a bus, touch wood, or we want to delegate, or maybe help out another staff member because they're really busy, and all of a sudden they're overloaded, so we need to help them out with the tasks that we wouldn't normally do. So I really recommend that you should run as a team where you do back each other up, because there's no point in having one staff member completely overloaded and then your other staff are okay and then maybe one isn't so busy. So you really should be working as a team where there is no such thing as, well, that's not my job. Certainly at times where one particular member or members are busy. And I mean, really, as a business owner, you really don't want any aspect of your business to be reliant on information in the head of a particular staff member, do you, Kelly? Because what happens if that staff member goes?
Exactly, yeah.
That information goes with that person. So gone are the days of the physical procedures manuals. Does anyone remember that? You had a printed, binded manual.
Printed.
Yeah, I know. We don't even print anymore. It's fantastic. Anyway, so we highly recommend moving away from that and actually having your procedures in the cloud, so they are actually easily accessible from anywhere, including your mobile devices. So not only that, but consider one step further and actually using videos as procedures instead of the old traditional written ones. Click here, do this, do that. Far quicker than reading words, and you can actually see what's going on. And if it's a computer-based procedure, the person can be watching the procedure on one screen while doing it on another. And especially if the task is like once a month. Even for me, I might do something once every 6 months. So I have video procedures for myself because sometimes I need a little bit of reminding on what I need to do as well. Okay, so we use a web-based called Google Sites for our video, our procedures. So we have a procedure for everything, or almost there, having a procedure for everything, and we use videos. And I certainly love doing that when I'm delegating a task. So what I will do if I know that I want to delegate a task off, I'll actually do a video, and at the same time I'll review how we do that task and maybe cut out some unnecessary steps, and analyze and remove those unnecessary steps. So to do our videos, we use Screencastify, and that is just a little what do you call it?
It's like a Google extension.
Yeah, that's
on your
it. Thank
toolbar.
you. Yep. So it's an extension on your toolbar, your Google toolbar. So it's really easy to use, and it records everything that's happening on your screen, and here's your voice as well. You can even include yourself in that video if you want to. It's fantastic, and like I said, really, really easy to use. Great tool for onboarding new staff. So if we get another staff member, okay, here's an example. Let's say we get a new staff member, they're about to have training this afternoon on how to do a particular task. What would get them to do is watch the video in the morning. So they're actually already warmed up into the task. So they watch the video in the morning, then they can write any questions they may have. Then they do the actual training with the staff member. They can get answers to their questions. And then next time they're able to do it on their own because they've got that video to back them up. Sounds ideal, doesn't it?
I think it's really important. Also, you know, a lot of the younger new generation new to working, you know, sometimes they're afraid of asking questions over and over again. So to be able to access a video-based procedure and not feel, you know, like they haven't taken it in the first time is a really good example of using that.
Yep. Cool.
Awesome. So with COVID just happening, you know, asking yourself, could you move away, you know, could you work from home? Or could you do a mix of working from home and in the office? I'm sure your staff will thank you for it. Many have enjoyed it over COVID. You certainly will create some loyalty and happy staff if it's done right. Yeah. So some of the key points from working from home is to have clear expectations. So it's really important that you're clear around the rules around productivity and working hours. So once you have that in place, then everyone knows what the rules are. You can quickly identify issues and nip them in the bud. Ensure that your staff have good practices to stay focused, organised and on task. And talk about these practices in staff meetings. Yeah. If you're working from home, the same laws apply. Staff need to have that good ergonomic setup for good health and safety. Have a great chair. So it should be no different than your work setup in your office. It's really important to have regular staff contact. So like we talked before about using those messenger apps such as Teams, stay in contact daily with each other. We also have Zoom meetings once a week, and we also have Zoom drinks on a Friday to keep that contact up with our staff members whilst we're not face to face. It's also really important, if you are working from home regularly, to get together physically. So whilst Zoom is great for the majority, it's super important to get together also. It could be for drinks or a random staff meeting at a cafe, or maybe just catching up for morning tea once a week. A mixture of the virtual and the physical works really well. So also from working from home is to have great culture. And by doing all of the above, connecting with your staff in the different ways will help ensure great inclusive culture. In fact, since working from home, we socially, so I mean virtually, get together more often, don't we, Lisa?
We do.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've also realised that we don't need an office, and we were always thinking about mainly working from home. So lockdown has fast forwarded this for us. So once down to level 1, hopefully today, we'll go back to the office, but we'll work from home on Mondays and Wednesdays, and potentially make a move to Fridays also. So again, offering a little bit of flexibility with working from home, but also in the office. The staff certainly love it. It's great for culture, and it's really good for productivity.
Oh, yeah, it's been, I mean, we were working from home on Mondays anyway, so we were
Yeah,
really lucky that we were, every team member was set up for it to work from home. So it was kind of natural. And each team member has absolutely loved it. That's for sure.
I know our animals have loved it.
Yeah, I know some of us could do it permanently. I think the majority of us wants the mixture of coming into the office and
Yeah,
being at home as well. And it's certainly, our clients have not found any drop in service, if not probably even more so, because we're not having to, we've actually got more, or I found I've got more time because I'm not having to travel to the office anymore. You know, getting ready to go to the
yeah,
office, getting there, finding a park, getting in, and the chit chat with the staff.
yeah,
And so certainly found that I have more time, it seems, available. And I found that I'm just as connected with the staff, and more so probably with my clients, because we tend to probably pick up the phone more. I don't know,
yeah.
how do you
Yeah,
feel
I've
about that?
found picking up the phone more, but also having some virtual meetings,
Yes.
even if it's just a quick 10-minute meeting, connecting face to face, be it
Yes.
social, virtually, still still feels like you're connected. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah,
Mm.
and saying that, where I would normally have phone meetings with clients, we're just doing Zoom meetings and actually seeing each other as well. I
Mm.
mean, I had one this morning that could have been done over the phone, but we just did it as a Zoom. So,
I think it's
yeah,
about the flexibility when you're going digital to have the options of both digital and face to face, isn't it?
yes, yeah,
So there's a time and a place to be face to face,
yes.
but it, also digital means maybe you meet at a different venue as well.
Mm, mm.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, so we are actually going back to the office tomorrow. We've decided, but
Mm.
we'll be now working from home on a Mondays and a Wednesday, like Kelly said. See how that goes, and then potentially move to Friday. And we're still able to meet with clients, so they do have the option to do Zoom on those days that are at home. And in saying that, I'm still, and I'm sure Kelly's the same. If a
Yeah.
client really wants to meet face to face on the Monday or the Wednesday, then we can certainly do that as
Mm.
well. So
It's about flexibility.
it is about flexibility, yeah,
Mm.
for sure. Okay. So what are the benefits to going digital or cloud? Um, no, well, I just want to point out that there's no point in going digital for the sake of going digital. There needs to be a value, and it needs to be cost effective. So we're not saying that everyone needs to go out there and go cloud. You need to analyze what your business needs and what are the benefits you're going to get out of it. So anyway,
Yeah.
so what are the benefits? You can be highly flexible and adaptable. Okay, you're able to work from home or anywhere, so you get that mobility. So you're not reliant on being at work to produce your income and provide your products and services. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
Removing manual tasks and reducing time to get tasks done and minimizing manual errors. We certainly have saved a lot of time in our business by removing manual tasks and automate and using technology to automate. Freeing up your staff's time to work on more important things, such as producing your products or services. So, it's not necessarily about, when I say we've saved a lot of time, it doesn't mean you're going to necessarily cut people hours. It means you can then utilize their time
Mm.
on money making things, not admin tasks. So it can be a competitive advantage. So moving with the times and not being left behind by your competitors. So that will give you a competitive advantage, because more than likely you're going to be ahead of them. Potentially reducing HR costs as well. Reducing costs and having hardware such as physical phones and servers, etc. And because you're cloud, you're then able to scale up and down easily. So for
Mm.
example, let's say you need some more storage, you can just tack on more storage with requesting it. Okay, if you had a server, they might need to come and install more drives, or maybe you even need your server replaced because it's at that time anyway. So no more upgrading software, all done for you. Actually, Kelly will give you a great example between Xero and MYOB.
Oh gosh. um, Yeah, so Xero you can access from any device anywhere. You've just got to go www.xero.com. And whilst everyone can choose their own accounting program they prefer, MIAB is cloud-based, but still relies on a program that you've got to download onto your actual physical device. And quite often you have to upgrade that regularly. So that can be a downfall
Mm.
when, or con when thinking about which program to shift to.
Yeah, I certainly don't miss having to upgrade our MI. When we used to be on MIB, I certainly don't miss it. It was a pain in the butt because you may not be able to actually access a data file because your version's too old. They're now in the current version and you're not. So then you've got to update it, which is can be really frustrating as well. And it's just time consuming. You may have allocated half an hour to do something, but all of a sudden you've got to spend 15 minutes now to update the software. And not having to worry about backups anymore, because if it's in the cloud, there will be a backup system solution that they have going on for you, so you're not having to worry about backups at all. If you've got everything on your physical server, then you need to have a backup, which is traditionally like a tape backup. I know you can have a cloud backup as well, but just not having to worry about it is fantastic. So so that's some of the benefits to going cloud or digital, as we call it.
Okay. So where to from here? Plan now and act now. So obviously some of these changes are simple, but some aren't. You can't rush into it. And like Lisa said, you need to assess your needs and talk to someone like us or another provider that can help guide you and even assess your needs and match you with the right solution. So some things to consider will be, what value does going digital give you? What will it cost you versus what you currently pay? And remembering that time spent on this is money. Also, what is your security requirements? So yes, some industries are at a higher advantage with being able to operate from home, such as ourselves. However, I think every business can implement some of these changes we've talked about today and gain immense savings of money and time, because time is money, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. And
so I guess where to from here is, you go.
No, sorry, Kelly. No, I was just going to say time is money. Like I've had someone go, oh, but that program's going to cost me such and such per month. I said, yeah, but how many hours is it going to free you up of time?
Yeah.
That time can then be, doing, making income, $100 an hour, $50 an hour, whatever it is. So you're going to make money. Yes, it's going to cost you, but you're going to have a benefit somewhere else. So you need to think like that as well. Yeah. And the security requirements, just make sure that you do have a good IT company, because even though you might be going cloud, you may not have a server, you still need a good IT company that is looking after, because you've still got hardware, you've still got your laptops or your computers, but also looking after your security to make sure that however you set up or whatever you're using is secured as well. Cool. So this is where we talk about the free funding. Now, I don't know how much availability there is out there. I know that some regions have run out, but I don't think we have in Marlborough. But anyway, there's allocated funding where you get one-on-one assistance in the areas of HR, cash flow forecasting, marketing strategy now. They've also digital, they call it the digital enablement strategy, and business continuity for any business that is affected by COVID-19. And I do recommend to take advantage, because it is actually a really easy process. So the two areas that we can help with all of those areas, but we're talking about mainly digital today. So we're able to help review your business and help develop a plan and come up with a strategy about how maybe you can become more digital to gain efficiencies, flexibility, add value to you and your business, but also give you business continuity. So if you are ever in the situation facing a lockdown, that to some degree, you're still able to continue operating in some way. And maybe you can't. Maybe you can't continue to operate, but maybe you can gain those efficiencies that we've talked about. So you are already producing better income due those efficiencies that you gained pre-lockdown, putting you in a better position to get through it and your business to survive, if we ever happen to go through what we've gone through recently. Does that make sense, Kelly?
Yeah.
Cool. And of course we can help with the marketing strategy as well, and like I said, any of those other areas which we've already talked about in some of our other webinars around cash flow forecasting and business continuity, which really business continuity covers everything that we're talking about, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Cool. So if you are interested in that funding at all, then you can just contact me at lisa@sass.nz, or you can ring my DDI 9284277.
So this has come to the end. So, I mean, not every business can be resilient as others, but this is not a fair world, and we're, not even all on an even scale. But it doesn't mean that you don't try and be as resilient as possible, does it?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like Kelly said, and I think I mentioned, every business can improve, every business can make changes and gain efficiencies, and make ourselves more resilient, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you for attending.